Rejection is one of the most difficult emotions to process. It carries with it an overwhelming sense of hurt that feels almost impossible to shake off. When someone chooses to ignore you, whether it's a friend, partner, or colleague, their absence can leave a gaping void that's hard to fill. This silence, however, isn't just the absence of words. It's the absence of connection. It amplifies every insecurity and doubt you have about your worth. In those moments, when their silence feels deafening, it's easy to begin questioning everything. Did I say something wrong? Was I not good enough? Why does it seem like they don't care? These questions echo through your mind, causing a whirlwind of negative thoughts that make you feel smaller, less worthy, and disconnected from your sense of self. The void left by someone's absence is not just about the physical space they once occupied. It's a feeling that cuts much deeper. When a person rejects you or chooses to ignore you, it can feel like a rejection of who you are as a person. Your emotions become tangled with the belief that their silence is a reflection of your value, and that can be incredibly painful. The more you try to understand why they're distant or cold, the more you begin to doubt your own worth. It feels as if your worthiness is being measured by their absence, by their unwillingness to engage, and by their decision to not reciprocate your energy. In times like these, we often forget that rejection isn't always personal, but it feels personal, doesn't it? It's easy to think that the silence speaks volumes about you, that it's somehow about your flaws, your mistakes, or the things you could have done better. The quiet becomes louder than the words you once shared, and it's easy to lose yourself in it. But in this silence, there's something far deeper happening, an emotional unraveling that often goes unnoticed by others. It's important to recognize that when someone rejects you or pulls away, it doesn't automatically mean you are unworthy. Yet, in the heat of the moment, it's hard not to internalize their actions. The silence can be confusing, and at times, it may feel like an echo of your deepest fears. It amplifies the negative beliefs we sometimes hold about ourselves, the ones that tell us we're not good enough, not deserving of love, or that we're somehow inadequate. When you are faced with rejection, especially from someone you care about, or someone whose approval you seek, it can be a blow to your emotional well-being. You may begin to second-guess your worth, wonder if your actions were wrong, or if you've somehow failed in their eyes. These thoughts can become overwhelming, drowning out your sense of confidence and self-respect. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing that if you could just make them see you, if you could just show them your true self, you'd get the validation and recognition you crave. You might find yourself obsessing over their silence, wondering what it means, why it hurts so much, and whether you'll ever regain the connection you once had. The emotional weight of their absence can feel like an anchor pulling you down, making it difficult to move forward. However, this pain, though real and valid, is not the full picture. It's only one side of the story. What we often overlook in these moments of emotional anguish is that rejection and silence aren't always about us. They are often more about the person who is choosing not to engage. They may be facing their own struggles, fears, or personal battles that prevent them from being present in the way we hope for. In fact, their silence may not be about you at all. It could be a reflection of their own internal turmoil, their inability to express themselves, or even their own emotional limitations. Yet, in the midst of this realization, it's easy to forget that their absence is not a measure of our worth. It's a measure of where they are in their own journey, not an indictment of who we are as individuals. While it's natural to feel hurt by someone's rejection, it's crucial to remember that their silence does not define you. Your worth is not dependent on anyone else's acknowledgement. It's a journey to recognize that rejection, no matter how deeply it cuts, is not a reflection of your value. It's simply a part of the complex nature of relationships. Sometimes people pull away, not because of anything you've done wrong, but because of things they're going through that you may never fully understand. The pain of rejection, though painful, can be a powerful catalyst for growth. It's an opportunity to reflect on your own sense of self, to reassess your priorities, and to recognize the areas of your life where you may need to grow. Rejection has the potential to redirect you, not just emotionally, but in terms of your actions and choices. In this moment of silence, you may be presented with a chance to step back, to reevaluate your worth, and to find strength in your ability to stand on your own without relying on anyone's approval. When we are faced with rejection, the natural instinct is often to look outward for answers. We seek validation from others to understand our worth, hoping that their acknowledgement will fill the gaps where silence and distance once lived. However, this search for external approval can become a vicious cycle, keeping us tethered to the opinions and actions of others. The truth is, the only real validation that holds weight is the one we give ourselves. Learning to embrace the truth about who we are, regardless of what others may or may not see, is a crucial step toward healing and self-empowerment. The process of embracing our truth begins with self-reflection. In moments of rejection, it's tempting to focus on everything that feels wrong or broken within us. We scrutinize our mistakes, our flaws, and our perceived shortcomings. But instead of looking outward or assigning blame, the true power comes when we turn inward and start asking ourselves more important questions. What am I learning from this experience? What does this rejection tell me about my needs, my boundaries, and my desires? These questions allow us to take ownership of our feelings and experiences rather than allowing them to define us. Self-reflection doesn't mean indulging in self-criticism or harsh judgment. It's about understanding yourself from a compassionate perspective. Rejection can often make us feel like we've done something wrong, that we've failed in some way. But the truth is, failure is not a reflection of who we are as people. It's simply part of the human experience. Each failure, each setback, provides an opportunity to grow. Embracing this reality is key to embracing our truth. We are not our failures. We are not defined by our mistakes. Instead, we are the sum of our experiences, the lessons we've learned, and the courage we've mustered to continue forward. When you learn to accept your truth, it means recognizing that rejection is not the end of the story. It's simply a chapter in a larger narrative. You are not the sum of other people's actions, nor are you limited by the judgments of others. You are an individual with inherent worth and dignity, regardless of how others choose to treat you. It's essential to see yourself as separate from the actions and words of others. Rejection doesn't define your character. It only speaks to the dynamics of the situation, the other person's perspective, or the timing of things. In this journey of embracing your truth, it's also crucial to recognize the value of your uniqueness. Each person brings something special to the table: skills, experiences, perspectives, and attributes that make them who they are. The rejection of someone else's opinion doesn't change the fact that you possess qualities that are worthy of recognition, love, and respect. The truth is, we often undervalue ourselves, thinking that we need to change, fit in, or conform to someone else's expectations. But when we embrace our truth, we step into the power of being fully ourselves without apology or compromise. It's important to recognize that embracing your truth doesn't mean you won't feel pain or disappointment. Rejection can still sting, even when you've found peace within yourself. But what it does mean is that you no longer tie your sense of worth to the external validation of others. Your worth is intrinsic. It's not based on the approval, love, or acceptance of anyone else. When you begin to accept this truth, you start to see rejection for what it truly is: a reflection of someone else's view or circumstance, not a measure of your value. One of the most empowering things you can do for yourself is to stop comparing yourself to others. Comparison is a thief of joy and self-esteem, and it robs you of the opportunity to celebrate your own journey. Every person is on their own path, facing their own struggles, and experiencing life in their own way. Comparing your experience to someone else's only keeps you stuck in a cycle of self-doubt. Instead, focus on your own growth and progress. Recognize your achievements, no matter how small they may seem, and give yourself credit for the person you're becoming. When you start embracing the truth about yourself, you stop waiting for others to fill the void of validation. You stop relying on their words or actions to define your worth. Instead, you begin to trust your own voice and your own value. This internal shift is what leads to true self-love, an understanding that you are enough just as you are. No external validation is required for you to feel whole. At the heart of this journey is self-compassion. Embracing your truth means allowing yourself to be imperfect, to make mistakes, and to grow from them. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a friend in need. Self-compassion is the foundation of resilience, and when we are kind to ourselves, we can weather the storms of rejection and silence with grace and strength. Ultimately, the truth about yourself is not something you find outside. It's something you uncover within. As you begin to embrace this truth, you shift your focus from seeking external validation to finding peace and contentment in your own self-worth. Rejection may still come, but it will no longer have the power to shake you to your core. You will know who you are, and you will love yourself for it. Healing is a process, not an event. It's a journey that doesn't have a clear destination or timeline. When we face rejection, it often feels like a sharp wound, something that demands to be fixed immediately. We want to rush through the pain, to bypass the discomfort, and return to a state of happiness and wholeness as quickly as possible. But healing doesn't work like that. True healing requires time, patience, and an acceptance that the road to recovery is often winding and unpredictable. When we are rejected, there is an initial period of emotional intensity. We feel the sting of hurt, the weight of disappointment, and the emptiness that comes from not feeling seen or valued. It's natural to want to make that pain go away as soon as possible. But in trying to escape it, we often neglect the healing process that's taking place beneath the surface. Rejection may feel like an emotional wound, but in reality, it's an opportunity for growth. The pain we experience can eventually lead to strength and resilience if we trust the process. The first step in trusting the healing process is acknowledging that it's okay to hurt. It's okay to feel the pain of rejection, to sit with the discomfort, and to process your emotions. So often we try to avoid or numb our pain, thinking that it's a sign of weakness. But the truth is, allowing ourselves to feel is one of the most powerful things we can do. Feeling our emotions doesn't mean we are weak or broken. It means we are human. It means we are alive and experiencing the full range of human emotions. And from that place of raw authenticity, healing can begin. Healing also involves giving ourselves permission to grieve. Rejection often comes with a sense of loss, whether it's the loss of an opportunity, a relationship, or a dream. Grief is a natural part of the process. And yet, we are often discouraged from grieving, as if sadness and sorrow are signs that we haven't moved on or are somehow stuck. But the truth is, grief is a vital part of healing. It allows us to release the attachments that were holding us in a place of pain, to let go of what we thought was meant for us, and to make space for something new to enter our lives. Part of the healing process also involves developing patience. We live in a fast-paced world where instant gratification is the norm. We expect things to happen quickly, and when they don't, it can feel frustrating and discouraging. But healing doesn't adhere to timelines. It takes time to process emotions, to heal the heart, and to make peace with what has happened. Patience in this context is not about sitting idly by, waiting for time to pass. It's about being gentle with yourself, allowing yourself to heal at your own pace, and understanding that the journey may take longer than expected. In the healing process, it's essential to have self-compassion. After rejection, it's easy to fall into a cycle of self-blame and criticism. We think, if only I had done this differently, or maybe if I was more this, I wouldn't have been rejected. These thoughts, while natural, only add to the weight of the pain. Self-compassion, on the other hand, allows us to be kind to ourselves during the healing process. It's about treating ourselves with the same care and understanding that we would offer to a friend going through a tough time. Instead of criticizing yourself for feeling hurt, acknowledge that it's okay to feel vulnerable and allow yourself the grace to heal. As part of the healing journey, it's crucial to recognize that healing doesn't mean forgetting. Healing doesn't erase the past, nor does it suggest that we should simply move on without reflection. Rather, healing allows us to find meaning in what has happened. It helps us make sense of the experience, learn from it, and use it to shape who we are becoming. In this way, healing transforms rejection from a painful experience into a catalyst for personal growth. In times of rejection, it's important to embrace the discomfort of uncertainty. When something we wanted doesn't materialize, we may feel lost or disoriented. But it's in this very uncertainty that new opportunities can arise. Embracing uncertainty means trusting that the future is unfolding exactly as it should, even if we can't see it yet. Instead of fighting the unknown, we learn to lean into it with curiosity and openness. Rejection, in many ways, is an invitation to reinvent ourselves. It gives us the opportunity to break free from the constraints of our past and explore new avenues for growth. Perhaps the path we had been pursuing was not the right one, or maybe there was something deeper within us that had been waiting for its moment to emerge. Rejection can serve as a wake-up call, prompting us to reassess our goals, values, and desires. It asks us to pause, reflect, and reconsider what truly matters to us. By embracing this period of introspection, we set ourselves up for a more authentic and fulfilling future. Ultimately, embracing new beginnings after rejection is about finding hope in the face of adversity. It's about recognizing that life's challenges are not the end, but the beginning of a new chapter. Each rejection is an opportunity to grow, to evolve, and to step into a new version of ourselves. By letting go of what no longer serves us, we create space for the new, the unknown, and the extraordinary. Embracing new beginnings allows us to move forward with confidence, knowing that no rejection can define us. We are the architects of our own destiny, and with every new beginning, we shape the future we deserve.